How are you wonderful people doing? My name is Michael, is known as ThirdGenGamer, and welcome to my newest challenge video. About 1 month ago, I released a challenge video called Can You Beat Pokemon Sword and Shield Using Only a MILCEry? I received a ton of support on that video, so here we are with our next challenge video. Thank you so much for all the support on that video. My challenge video for today is Can You Beat Pokemon Shield Using Only a Chewtle with no healing items in battle? Chewtle is a pure water type that evolves into Dreadnought at level 22. It has a base stat total of 284, which isn't terrible for being a first stage. It is somewhat bulky and it does have good physical attack. My concern with this Pokemon is that Chewtle only learns 2 moves from level up, Water Gun and Liquidation. Liquidation is the only physical attacking move that it can learn, period. And it's not until level 42. I mean, I could teach Dive, but I don't know, we will see. Chewtle can have the ability Strong Jaw, which boosts the power of biting attacks. So Bite and Jaw Lock will get boosted, and then if I get the TM for Ice Fang, that could be helpful as well. Though I played both games for my last challenge, I'll only be playing through Shield in this challenge. Being a full-time college student, it does make things tougher to do big challenges like that. But I feel that Shield will be the most challenging for me for this playthrough because of Melody with her Freeze Dry Ice Cube and the Gigantamax Lapras. Oh, and possibly Milo because our move pool won't be great to start. So the rules are simple. Rule number 1, I must only use a Chewtle in my playthrough once we get it. Pretty self-explanatory. Rule number 2, I cannot use healing items or X items in battle. And 3, I cannot use cheats or exploits to complete this playthrough. Let's get started. We do the usual. We get our starter. I chose Sobble since I would make Leon get the Grookey. It's not like it'll be difficult already or anything. But we go to Route 2, catch our Chewtle, and name it after Squirt from Finding Nemo. Totally. And let's take a look at it. It has Strong Jaw and has a Lonely Nature boosting its attack but lowers defense. But it hates to lose. Now that is what I like to see. This turtle's willing to train to take the hits and keep moving forward. And that is truly how winning is done. This Chewtle gets it. Respect the process. We head to Professor Magnolia's house and now we have to fight Hop for the first time. He goes for Wooloo first. 2 bites do the trick, and then Scorbunny was next. 2 water guns and it was a KO, and then 2 more bites for the Rookity. We get our letter of endorsement and we get our Dynamax band. Now, we're at the wild area. We pick up the leftovers in Giant Step, and then we head into Motostoke. We head to Motostoke to enter the gym competition. Leon stops us and gives us the Mystic Water. This will help us boost the power of water-type moves. We might need it if we don't deal enough damage with Water Gun early on. We get to choose our jersey number, and I chose 25 because, you know what's funnier than 24? 25. We go into Budu Inn, take out the 2 Yell Grunts, and then we spend the night. We meet the gym leaders and now we leave to go do our battle with Hop. You gotta love seeing the fans cheering us on as we leave. We are the underdogs in this story, and they love it. It's time for Hop. He starts with his Wooloo, 2 bites do the trick. Next up is Scorbunny, 2 water guns knock it out. Lastly, he had his Rookity. After an attack drop from Scorbunny with Growl, we still managed to knock out the Rookity in 2 hits with Bite because of its poor defenses. Pretty easy win. Time for Bead. Last challenge video, I decided to call this trainer Beady. People in the comments were saying it was Bead, so therefore, I guess he'll now be Bead. Bead sends out his Solosis, easy KO with Bite. Gothita was 2 bites until knocked out. And then Ateno was another 1-hit KO with Bite. Bead was over with before he could even say his own name. It's time for Turffield Jim and Milo. Milo starts off as Gossifleur. I managed to do a few bites and a few protects against this Pokemon to try to heal my health with leftovers for the Dynamax Eldegoss, but I failed to double protect. Of course, it would happen. I get nearly destroyed by Gossifleur's Magical Leap just to get bodied in the end by the Eldegoss. Second attempt, I got destroyed again by Max Overgrow. There's really no way I could beat this fight unless I'm able to land a bunch of flinches on the Gossifleur and then Max Protect at the right times to beat the Eldegoss. I needed to grind out the Max Raids for Candy to level up. At level 21, Squirt wanted to learn Headbutt, so I replaced Tackle. Not going to be as useful for this gym, but maybe at a later point. So I got the Chewtle level 25. Let's try this again. Gossifleur was easy to take out. Bite, Protect, Bite, and no Magical Leaf. I went in at full health against the Eldegoss. I was able to avoid the Max Overgrow. Unfortunately, it started going for Magical Leaf, and I was very close, but it still wasn't enough to win. I'm going to get a few more levels before I go back in. I get Chewtle level 28, and it tries to learn Counter. I don't think we should have it right now, but we definitely need to keep that in mind for later. After many more attempts and suffering by losing at the same spot, I eventually went up to level 32. This time around I got past the Dynamax, but I did get hit with a Max Strike, which lowered my speed, and it really came down to whether Milo wanted to use Magical Leaf. This attempt he decided not to. He went for Round and Leafage instead, which I took well, and we finally knock out the Eldegoss to get the Grass Badge. TM10 Magical Leaf, get that out of my sight. On Route 5, I picked up the TM for Attract. You never know when we'll need the power of love to overcome an obstacle. I don't want to use this, but this is really a last resort idea if problems arise that cannot be solved. We then fight Hop. We one-shot his Wooloo with Bite, two-shot the Corvisquire with Bites, and then we two-shot the Raboot with Water Gun. Now we made it to Hulbury, and it's time for the gym. Nessa sends out Goldeen. I go for 2 bites, easily knock it out. Next up is Arrokuda. We do a bite and a headbutt to make it faint. And now it's time for her ace, Dreadnought. We both Dynamax. I go for 2 Max Darknesses to do damage and lower the special defense of Dreadnought. And then I go with the Max Geyser to hopefully take it out. It falls into the red. I set up the rain, but I didn't expect the Dreadnought to knock me out even with a Razor Claw, but oh boy, I definitely cut it close. Squirt lives on 1 HP, and then we were able to deal the final blow to get the Water Badge. In Galar Mine number 2, we fight Bede for a second time. We one-shot every single Pokemon on his team with Bite. Down went Solosis, Gothita, Hatena, and Ponyta. At level 35, we learned Jaw Lock, which is really nice. 80 base power move, and it should be boosted by Strong Jaw, which will turn into a 120 power move. You are locked in and cannot switch, but that is not a problem since this is a solo run. This is pretty powerful. Time for Marnie. She starts off with a Croagunk. We get the flinch with Headbutt. She uses a Super Potion, but we also just finish her off. Next is Morpeko, and this thing was a pain. It was trying to use my own tactics against me. It outsped, it tried to bite and flinch me, but I got lucky and did not get flinched and knock it out with Headbutts. We didn't really handle it well though. We get the Scraggy, then we didn't get the Headbutt flinch and we lost. Should've went for Protect. We might have possibly lived because of leftovers from a Headbutt, but oh well. I tried a few more attempts, I kept getting flinched with Bite, so I decided to go and level up Squirt to level 40. This time around, Morpeko decides to Thunder Shock instead of Bite? That's actually okay with it until it paralyzes me. Instead of flinches, it trades with Paralysis. It doesn't have Serene Grace, so that is just my luck, I suppose. But we end up knocking it out, and then a couple headbutts take out the Scraggy. That really shouldn't have been that hard. Now it is time for Kabu. He sends out his Ninetales. I decided to Dynamax right now because Chewtle's Water Gun is garbage at this point, and his special attack is not good. I thought I could KO the Ninetales. He burns me first turn, and then I land a Max Geyser to not knock it out. Dang it. But we take 2 turns against the Ninetales. Arcanine comes out next, and we destroy it. And then the Gigantamax Centiskorch comes out. With the rain up, I thought it was possible to do some damage, but it did very little, and we eventually got bodied. I decided to pick up Counter because Kabu's Centiskorch only has physical moves, so if it does enough damage to me, I could double the damage back at it. I decided to attack Ninetales with Headbutt first turn, and then Dynamax to knock it out. Arcanine comes out, we get burned, but I knock it out. We have 1 turn with Dynamax for Centiskorch. I do about 75% with Max Geyser, then Centiskorch lowered my special attack with Max Flutterby. And I knew it was time for me to unleash the counter, and we were successful. We got the Fire Badge. We make it to Hammerlock, go on a research date with Sonia, deal with Yell on Route 6, learn Liquidation at level 42, which is way better than Water Gun for Chewtle, and then we make it to Stoneon's side. We fight Hop. He starts with Cramorant. We got crit by Cramorant's Fury Swipes, but we crit it back with Jaw Lock same turn. That's pretty clutch. Then Silicobra comes out. It was one shot by Liquidation. Toxel comes out, Jaw Lock kills it in 1 hit, but it got static on us. Hop brings in Raboot, and we one-shot it with Liquidation for an easy win. I went back to the move relearner to get Water Gun and Protect for this gym challenge. And now it is time for Alistair. First up is Yamask. I go for Water Gun on the Yamask so I can avoid losing my ability in case I need it for later parts of the fight. But it disables me, and then I had to stall until I could Water Gun again. It eventually goes down. Mimikyu comes out. I spammed Liquidations until the decoy and the Mimikyu went down, and then I got a Baby Doll Eyes off, which could be a problem. With Cursula, I decided to Protect and then Dynamax because I was worried a Jaw Lock would not kill it at -1 attack. I knock it out in 1 hit with Max Darkness. Then Gigantamax Gengar comes out, and oh boy, what an issue. I do half with Max Darkness. It goes for Max Ooze to raise its special attack, then I got bodied by Gigantamax Terror. I am back at level 48. Let's see if we're able to handle this Gengar. I got to Gengar without using my Dynamax. I decided to go all out with Max Darkness again, and he actually did the same first turn as well. Therefore, he got no boost. He did very little, then I did over half to it. Next turn, he goes for Max Ooze. Doesn't kill. We go for the Max Darkness, knock out the Gengar, and we get the Ghost Badge. Bede wants to cause a problem with the mural. I guess we'll have to stop him. He sends out his Dwosion, which we use Jaw Lock to knock it down in one hit. Hatchram comes out next. I use Jaw Lock again, goes down in one hit as well. We level up and learn Body Slam. Gothorita was after, another one shot. Then lastly, we fought Ponyta. He outsped and used Psybeam. Did practically nothing, and then we knocked it out in one hit with another Jaw Lock. I run through Glimwood Tangle and we make it to Bologna. I decided to go into the second house and fight the Eviolite trainer. That way we can use that item if we really need it. Basically, it raises the defense and special defense of the holder if the Pokemon's not fully evolved. And well, Chewtle's not fully evolved. This could be another held item option if we get stuck. It's time for the Old Hag Opal. My tactic for this gym is to stall long enough to get the quiz questions to boost all my stats by 2 stages. She sends out Galarian Weezing. First turn I protect. Answer the quiz question, get the speed boost. And then I knock out the Weezing with 2 liquidations. Next is Mawile. It comes in to Intimidate, which kinda stinks. I answer the next question, get defenses boosted. Knock out the Mawile with Liquidation and then Body Slam. Next is Togekiss. Answered the last quiz question correctly, raised my attack and special attack. 2 liquidations killed it. And now it's time for Gigantamax Alchemy. I go for Max Geyser, almost knock it out, and then I eat a Gigantamax Finale and finish it with Max Geyser for a fairly easy fairy badge. Hop wants a bit of a competition, so we have to take him on again. I go to the move relearner so I can get counter. I think I might need that for his awful stockpiling Snorlax, or otherwise we'll get stuck there for a long time. Then I have to go buy the TM for Ice Fang in Hammerlock since we can learn it. Plus we get Strong Jaw boost, so Ice Fang is pretty strong. Starting off is Trevenant, 1 Ice Fang knocks it out. Then Bolton comes out next, a complete oversight. It goes for Spark and does 3/4 of my health. Should have used counter, but even then, Snorlax could easily come in and destroy me and I would not be able to use counter. I'll have to grind a bit before coming back. I'm back at level 56. Second attempt, I got crit by the Bolton, which mattered because Snorlax finished me off next turn. Third attempt, I put Protect back on the moveset for Chewtle so I can recover from leftovers when the Snorlax comes out. But a low damage roll messes up my plan. Bolton messed with me some more, so I need to grind a couple more levels before coming back. I want to avoid losing because of a low damage roll again. Fourth attempt, Bolton paralyzes me with Spark. Of course it would, just my luck. You cannot make this up, and we all know what happens next. We lose. Shocker to the world. Literally. Fifth attempt, he paralyzes me again with Spark. What are the chances? We finish off the Bolton, we eventually take out the Snorlax, take out the Heatmore, and then we lose to the Cinderace. Next attempt back at the Cinderace, we avoided getting paralyzed by Spark and then Snorlax's Body Slam. Cinderace goes for Agility for its first turn while we knock it out with Liquidation. That should have not been that hard. We pick up the King's Rock on Route 8, which can help flinch the opponent. It could potentially be very helpful. Then we make it to Surchester. Time for Melanie. She starts with a Frostmoth. We outspeed. It was an easy one-hit KO with Jaw Lock. Darmanitan comes out and taunts us, and then we crit it. I don't think it mattered though, because its defenses are pretty garbage. Ice Cube comes out, absorbs 1 physical attack, but we were unable to take it out because it was able to land 3 freeze dries on us. There really isn't a way around this Pokemon without leveling up unless we crit. So, we were so close to knocking it out before the Ice Face was gone. If I start protecting, it'll use Hail, and then get its Ice Face back to absorb another physical attack. Anyways, I come back at level 69. Nice. For some reason, I could still not take out the Ice Cube. I decided to go back to Motostoke to find the black glasses. Right beside the uniform shop, they're sitting there. Now this better be what I need to deal enough damage. Back to Ice Cube. First turn, it decided to Ice Wind instead, and it lowered our speed while it broke its Ice Face. And then we finished it off after a Freeze Dry with Jaw Lock. Lapras comes out next. I was not very scared until it took a Max Darkness like a champ with black glasses. And then I decided to Max Strike it twice to lower its speed since I needed to be faster when the Dynamaxes are gone. I was successful, and then I finished it off with 2 Jaw Locks to get the Ice Badge. It's time for Hop Schmop again. He leads with Dubwool, knocked it out with a critical hit Jaw Lock, which I don't really think it mattered. Next is Pinkerton, another KO with Jaw Lock. Cinderace comes in, lands a Mega Kick while we liquidate it to Oblivion. Snorlax was next. 2 Jaw Locks knock it out, and then Corviknight was his final Pokemon. 2 Jaw Locks secured the win for us. We make it to Spike Myth, but oh no! We can't get in. Good thing Marnie knows a thing or two. She knows the way in, but we need to battle her. She sends in a Liepard, and Nasty plots till we knock it out with Liquidation. Next is Morpeko. I misclick and go for Jaw Lock, but it still does over half. Spark does a ton to us. I protect the heal with leftovers, and then I attack. Of course, she gets the paralysis with Spark. You can't make it up! We end up losing to our Toxicroak. I decided to give the Chewtle the Eviolite instead of the leftovers to see if it would help. We get back to the Morpeko. It goes for Torment, so I can't use moves 2 turns in a row. Then I go for Liquidation for a one-hit KO. So yeah, the misclick probably mattered. Toxicroak comes in, and 2 Ice Fangs knock it out. And then finally, there is Scrafty. We do Liquidation, and then Ice Fang, while it swaggers us, it goes down. We win! Time for the 7th gym. Unfortunately, we have to get a second Pokemon for this gym challenge for a single battle. I decided to grab another Chewtle and just taught it Endure. That was really the only other attack that I had that would be able to work for this, so technically, it can take 2 hits, but I don't want it dealing any damage. If I had Work Up, I would have taught that to my Sobble, but I didn't have the TR from the raids I grinded out. Anyways, we fight through the gym, and now it is time for Pierce. This will be awful. He sends out his Scrafty with Intimidate. We take the hits pretty well against the Scrafty and then knock it out with a couple Liquidations. Then a Contrary Malamar comes out. I go for Liquidation, and then it would get a defense boost. I mean, we eventually knock it out, but then the Obstagoon comes in and wrecks shop. Second time we got back to Obstagoon at level 80, got countered a few times, it didn't end real pretty. This Obstagoon will be the end of me. But wait, we still have a power that we've not utilized yet, and that is the power of love. Cutting back to the Obstagoon, first turn I go for the Attract while it goes for Throat Chop on the Chootle's Jugular. Then I go for the Ice Fang and get the Freeze. It stayed frozen as I whittled away at the Obstagoon until it got knocked out. Lastly is the Skuntank. Pierce is screaming to Sucker Punch and Toxic. I had to Attract first turn to avoid a Sucker Punch, and it worked. Next I went for Ice Fang, but then he Toxics. Lastly, we go for the Liquidation and knock the Skuntank out. But wait, we still have Aftermath in play. We barely live, and then we get the Dark Badge. 1 badge to go, but I have a feeling that this is not even close to being over. I have a feeling that Raihan will be a pain. Well, here we go. Competitive doubles, and I have my Chootles. Yippee. He starts off with Gigalith and Flygon. Gigalith sets up the Sandstream, which is kind of unfortunate. I basically need to go over to the Flygon first and knock it out because it has Thunder Punch. First turn it goes for Thunder Punch and it attacks my other Chewtle. This is a huge break for me. I Ice Fang and I knock it out. Gigalith goes for Body Press. Whatever, not a threat. Next up is Sandaconda. I Ice Fang that and it goes down. Duraludon comes out. He Gigantamaxes while I Dynamax. I go for the Max Darkness since it's technically more powerful than Max Hailstorm. Do a decent amount while it decides to do Max Knuckle to boost his and Gigalith's attack. Last Dynamax turn, I take out the Gigalith and I leave myself with the Duraludon. I'm in the red, he's in the yellow, I thought I was toast. Until Duraludon decides to go for a Stone Edge and miss. It does have an 80% accuracy though. But still, if it wasn't for that break against the Flygon and this miss here, I would have not gotten Raihan first try. Regardless though, we got the Dragon Badge. We make it to Winden and now we need to qualify for the tournament. We have to fight Marnie first. She sends out Liepard. First turn she goes for Snarl, which is a special attacking move that lowers the opponent's special attack. Doesn't matter since I only have physical attacking moves. Liquidation knocks it out in 1 hit. Morpeko is after. She goes for Spark and I was hoping there'd be no para, and luckily it didn't happen. We knock it out in Liquidation. Next up is Scrafty. I go for Liquidation, it lives but we lower its defenses. She goes for Scary Face. As she heals the Scrafty, we're able to knock it out with another Liquidation. Next up is Toxicroak. First turn it goes for Swagger, which boosts my attack by 2 stages, but if we hit ourselves, we do a ton more damage to ourselves. I go for Liquidation, completely forgetting that it has Dry Skin. So essentially Marnie got a free turn. She puts up a Toxic, and then we fight through the confusion and use Ice Fang to knock it out. Lastly, she has a Gigantamax Grimmsnarl. She goes for Gigantamax Snooze, we eat it like a champ, and then we fight through the confusion yet again to knock it out with Max Geyser. Yeah, a lot of luck was involved, but we ended up securing the win. Time for our annoying rival, Hippity Hoppity. First Hop sends out Dubwool, easy knockout, even after Hop heals it. Pinkerton comes out, lives at 1 HP from Liquidation, and then decided to curse. And then it went down. Next was Snorlax, Liquidation and Jawlock knocked it out. Corviknight was the same story, and then Cinderace was destroyed by Max Geyser. Easy, now we qualify for the tournament. But of course, we had to check out the Rose Tower because Leon was nowhere to be seen, and Olina was just there to stop us. It took us a few attempts. The first attempt I got burned by her Frostlass using Will-O-Wisp, cutting my attack in half, which led to my demise as I got to her Salazzle, but I basically restarted every single time until Olina missed her Will-O-Wisp. Once she did, it was easy across the board. KOs on all of her Pokemon. Frostlass died in 1 hit, Serena died to an Ice Fang, Salazzle died to a single Liquidation, Milotic died to 2 Jaw Locks, and then 2 Max Geysers knocked out the Gigantamax Gardevoir. And now it's time for the tournament. Oh wait, Bede wants to go again before the actual tournament starts. Fine. We can make this a practice round. Bede sends out Mawile, and it has Intimidate, and that's really gonna hurt me. I knock it out in 2 hits. Gardevoir comes in and uses Psychic on me while I knock that out with 2 Liquidations. Rapidash comes out, outspeeds me, and uses Psycho Cut twice while we liquidate. One of the Psycho Cuts was a crit, but that was a high crit chance move. We knock it out, but then we were low on HP for the Gigantamax Hatterene, which knocked us out. I've tried many more attempts but lost at Hatterene, so I leveled it up to level 87 and I'm going to try it again. Back at the Hatterene, I was able to take it down to half with Max Geyser, and then Bede went for G-Max Smite, which confused us. However, we were able to snap out of it the next turn to finish off Bede with Max Geyser. Now for the first trainer of the tournament, Nessa. She starts off the Golisopod that does first impression to deal damage while we use Jaw Lock to bring it to the yellow. Emergency exit happens, Seeking comes out, we one-hit KO the Seeking with Jaw Lock. Golisopod comes out again, we finish it with Jaw Lock. Barraskewda comes out, it outspeeds, goes for Throat Chop with its fins. Anyways, we knock it out with Jaw Lock. Pelipper comes out, first turn it sets up a Tailwind while we attack. She potions up, and then I attack again with Jaw Lock. Pelipper decides to roost, and then we knock it out, and now it's time for her Gigantamax Dreadnought, practically Squirt's father. It doesn't matter though, 2 Max Geysers do the trick, and that was it for Nessa. Alistair is next, he starts off with Dusknoir, easy knockout with Jaw Lock. Poltegeist was after. Easy KO. Chandelure, didn't think we'd outspeed, but we do and knock it out with Liquidation. Cursula, another knockout with Jaw Lock, and then Gigantamax Gengar. We somehow outspeed and kill it in 1 hit. This was the smoothest battle yet, and it feels so good after being absolutely tortured in my MILCERY challenge video. We didn't even get touched. I'll take it. Raihan is going to be a pain. He starts off with his Torkoal with Drought. I went for a Tract hoping I could avoid getting hit with a Solar Beam, but he broke through. Next turn he yawned, and then after I knock him out with Liquidation, I fell asleep. Goodra comes in, sets up the Rain, and thunders to knock me out. So I either need to get lucky with RNG with a Tract, or try to take 1 Solar Beam and continue from there. I decided to take 1 Solar Beam instead of attracting to see where it goes from there. So I take the Solar Beam, take out the Torkoal, Goodra comes out. I use Ice Fang, knock it out in 1 hit. Next up is Flygon. Flygon goes for the Earthquake, and then I miss my Ice Fang. Next turn he decides to set up a Sandstorm, and then I was able to connect. Turtonator comes out, I get close to knocking out with Liquidation. He sets up Sunny Day, and then I finish off Turtonator. And now it's time for his Gigantamax Duraludon. I go for Max Darkness, he goes for Gigantamax Depletion. Basically, I spam my Max Darkness, and then Duraludon goes down. Time for the finals. We're all set to take on Leon, and oh no! Chairman Rose wants to interrupt us and make everyone evacuate! Here we go. We need to beat Rose before we can proceed. Rose starts with an Escavalier. We knock it out with 2 Liquidations and avoid a Mega Horn. Next up is the toughest Pokemon, Ferrothorn. I go for the Jaw Lock, do about half, and then get hit with Iron Barb's damage. And then we get absolutely destroyed by a Power Whip. Though we get past it, Klinklang comes out and Wild Charges us. Honestly, I feel like this is going to take us a while. I'll need to bank on not getting hit by a Power Whip from it, missing, or I attract it and gets immobilized by Love. After losing multiple times, I decided to go up to level 90. We get back to the Ferrothorn. It decides to use Curse the whole time instead. Whatever. I eventually knock it out with Jaw Lock and Ice Fang to get to his Klinklang. We did rack up some Iron Barb damage by hitting it 3 times though. For Klinklang, I decided to Dynamax since he outspeeds. I need more HP and I need more power to knock this out in 1 hit. Max Geyser finishes it off. I don't think the critical hit mattered though. I one-shot Berserker, then I almost knock out the Caparaja with a Max Geyser as well. We go back to our normal state, and then we outspeed and finish with Liquidation. We knock out Eternatus with our Ice Fang, save the world, and now we get to take on Champion Leon. He sends out his Aegislash. I predict the King Shield, so I go for a Tract. I do not want to physically attack this Pokemon when King Shield is up. It will lower my attack and I will lose for sure. I put in the Rev with Lockjaw, Leon heals. I go for Ice Fang for the chance of freeze, and I get it. Knock it out. Dragapult comes out next. It T-bolts, it does a bit of damage, but Jaw Lock knocks it out. Next is Rillaboom. I should have set up an Attract because he was planning to Endeavor me from the start. I Ice Fang, bring me to the yellow with Endeavor next turn, we knock it out. But then we get destroyed by Haxorus next turn. I'll come back a couple levels higher with more of a game plan against Rillaboom and see if we can really do the job. At level 92, I was unable to beat this Rillaboom. I'm going to have to come back at level 95 and I'll see if the Rillaboom goes down. Back to the Rillaboom, we almost knock it out with Ice Fang, but we get a flinch. We successfully knock it out. Haxorus comes out, we eat an Outrage, but it did a lot. Then we knocked it out with Ice Fang. After that is Rhyperior. I Dynamax and not only destroys Max Geyser, but then we would be able to set up the rain for the Gigantamax Charizard. Rhyperior goes down. Charizard comes in. If we outspeed, we win. If we don't, we lose. I thought maybe if we could outspeed a Gengar, that we could possibly outspeed the Charizard, but nope, we go down to a Max Overgrow. I want to try beating this without getting to level 100 because it's definitely doable. And also, if I can get the same situation with Rillaboom, we could Dynamax on Haxorus, take Outrage better, knock it out, Max Geyser the Rhyperior, and then Max Geyser the Gigantamax Charizard. Let's see if we can pull this off. Going back to Rillaboom, after about 6 or 7 more attempts, we got the Ice Fang flinch. And now we can see if we can truly win with my new strategy. We Dynamax against the Haxorus, take Outrage really well, knock it out. We take out Rhyperior with Max Geyser, get a useless crit, and now the Charizard. He Gigantamaxes, goes for Max Overgrow, we end up living the attack. And now it is time to see if we can take out this Charizard with a super effective Max Geyser in the rain. It turns out we can. We have done it. We've become the champion of the Galar region with using only a Chewtle. So, since Chewtle leveled up during the fight, I decided to let it evolve. After it evolved, I was like, well, shoot, it will be a Dreadnought on the title screen. Oh well, whatever, I'm not doing it again just to get a Chewtle on my title screen. It is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed my challenge video. It definitely was fun, and it definitely was challenging. If you enjoyed this challenge video, be sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button if you're new. Also hit that bell icon for notifications whenever I upload. I do have other content on my channel like my challenge video with only using MILCERY, 2 top 5s with ranking the best and worst max rate NPC trainers in Sword and Shield, and of course I'm doing my Pokemon Emerald 3-way versus with Jacob as always and Bull and Engineer. I'll be doing more challenge videos in the future. Be sure to leave some suggestions in the comment section down below for future challenges. Thank you for watching everyone, see you all next time.